What's up, guys? Today's topic is it's kind of an interesting one. So the title of the video is new role of the new role of a realtor is a MythBuster, and I'm sure that's probably got a lot of curiosity going on. So allow me to explain myself. So way back in the good old days, realtors were more of the information finders, and basically what they did was they brought information to people who didn't have a real estate license and pretty much found homes for them, guided them, took them around in a car, showed them the homes, and then, made the offers, and then the whole transaction occurred afterwards. Today is not as much as how that works, because it's a little bit different today, because what happens is you have someone, the CEO of Zillow comes around, and the story behind his creation of Zillow is that he said that when he was on the phone with a real estate agent once, the realtor he was talking to was apparently incompetent and could not do his job very well. And the CEO of Zillow wanted to say, he's like, I always wanted to just reach through the phone and see what the realtor was seeing so that I could just analyze the information myself and go from there. And that's what inspired him to create Zillow, was an incompetent realtor who couldn't communicate information properly. So basically what he did is he created a computer screen where he could see all of the information that he wanted to see, and that made that available to everybody, which is why we have Zillow today. And so now, today, people have access to more information. People have access to, I guess we're not as much, realtors today are not as much the information providers today as much as we are the MythBusters, because there is a ton of information out there, a ton of it, but not all of it's real, not all of it's good, not all of it makes sense. So instead of being the information providers, where we used to be just people who provided good information, now what we are is more of a filter. We have to bust all the myths that come out of the internet. So when our clients get to us, it's like, I can't tell you how many times people will come up to me and be like, oh, well, here you go. My Zestimate tells me my home's worth this much. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard that, a million times, or, any other myth. I read on the internet that the market's doing crappy. Well, unless you're asleep, the economy's doing great right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all kinds of stuff. Like, you're more of a myth buster. You're here to bust all these informational myths that are coming off the internet and into your clients' heads. So, like I said, people don't have access. Despite the fact that they have information, that's great, that's fine, but it's not all good. It's not all true. So it's almost detrimental instead of helpful. But here's the other thing. I've had conversations with realtors in my office who are much older than me, who've been doing the business longer than me. And they said, back in the day, I loved finding people homes. I loved being the realtor that, found them the home. Instead, today, they just find the homes themselves, and I just kind of open the door. I was like, well, that's okay. Like, and this is what I wanted to talk about, is that it's okay to let them do that. It's okay. Like, the information's there. Let them find the home. Okay, great. Take on the role of MythBuster as opposed to information provider. And okay, they still don't know what they're doing. Okay, great. They need to see the house. Great. That's fine. Get them in there. But they don't know what to look for. Like, they don't know what's an indicator of maybe a collapsing roof, or a leaky basement, or how old the hot water heater might be old before it expires, or bad connections in the pipes, or what's bad workmanship and what's good workmanship, what's a big plus, what's a huge minus. Like, they still need you for that stuff. Just because they found the actual house doesn't mean that much at all. You can still be of tremendous value. And then once they are in the house, then they need somebody to walk them through how to acquire it for themselves, how to own the home, how do they take ownership of this thing. And that's a whole process by itself. So there's still a ton of value there for you as a real estate agent to provide. Just because you didn't find them the actual house doesn't mean all that much. So there's plenty there for you to still be of value. basically what I would say to take on the role of being is for today is to take on the role of being a MythBuster. Your job is to cut out the bad information, walk through actual strategies with people, and then manage expectations and emotions, because those are all things that would destroy a real estate transaction if not taken into consideration. So, for example, like I'm going through a deal right now. Let's put it this way: if you were not there, if I was not there in this case, if there was not a realtor present, there were so many deals that I know that would never have gotten done because people just jump to conclusions. They think because they got one no on one of their inspection items, the seller said no, and the buyer just jumps to conclusions, and they're like, oh, well, that seller's selfish and he hates me and they're just trying to get one over on me. Oh, like, I can't believe they're doing this. And like, that's none of that's obviously true. They just jump to a bunch of conclusions that aren't true. And now if I wasn't there, or a realtor wasn't there to walk them through, like, hey, this is totally normal. They're not like this. They're not trying to get one over on you. They don't want to pay for this one thing. That's all. Nobody's trying to screw you. Like, or in some cases, it's the opposite. Yeah, they are trying to screw you. You need to get the heck out of this deal. But you need to not having a realtor present would collapse so many deals because so many people will get emotions. They run wild. And as a realtor, just because, like I said, you're not finding the house, that's fine. That's not your job anymore. You're busting myths and you're managing emotions. Like for me right now, like there's this woman that was selling her house and the buyer just went totally bonkers and lost control of all emotions, like screaming at me on the phone, just freaking out, assuming anything and everything was totally wrong, that everything was going to cost over $100,000, and went nuts. And now, if that conversation occurred between buyer and seller directly without me in the middle to filter that deal would have been dead. Like, for sure. The two women would have absolutely hated each other. They would have been beating the hell out of each other. And it would never been, and the deal would have never went through. Like, never. So, like you guys can be value to your clients in other ways. So just like I said, it's okay to let people find their own home. Just take on the different role. We're going to be MythBusters. We're going to be strategists, and we're going to be managers of emotions. Those are our new roles as real estate agents. Not so much. I mean, providing information, yes, still important. It's just not the primary role anymore as much as it used to be. So I'm not saying don't provide information, but you guys get what I'm saying. So hopefully you found that useful, and I will see you guys in the next episode.